ตรงอาคารเดอะไฮท์ค่ะ
Have you ever been on a bike?
Good that you said about my glasses. I forgot them. They were on my head.
Come. Yeah, come.
This is myself. Nice to meet you. Oh, you're Jimmy. This is Long. Hi, Fabi.
Hello.
So, tell us why you chose this place.
I choose this place because our life are like related closely to the physical transitioning, right? And unbelievable that in Thailand we cannot access, like limited access for trans people to undergo this process with the government hospital.
Okay.
In Thailand, we can just only go to Chulalongkorn. And Chulalongkorn is a medical school, such a big hub. So it's really hard for us to access there.
Okay, but it's crazy because we all hear that everybody come here, right? Everybody comes here for the surgery. I have a friend from Venezuela that she came here just for the transitioning. And now you're saying that access is very hard. So I suppose for those who have money, it's easier.
It's easier, yes.
Yeah.
Many trans women who really want to undergo sex reassignment and they work hard to save money. But once the money are okay, when they save enough, the price is raising up. So they have to keep on and on and on. And
How much is the surgery in dollars?
In dollars, right now, here is it depends on local people and international packaging have different price.
Okay.
Right? In dollars, it's between for Thai is now about $7,000 to $8,000
$7,000 to $8,000
per year at here.
And that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's for Thai.
That's for Thai.
Wow.
Yeah.
And for foreigners?
10.
10.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's just the surgery or the whole treatment.
That's just the surgery, just for sex reassignment.
Okay.
Down
Yes.
on
Yes.
top. Oh no, bottom. Bottom, not top. Down.
Okay.
Okay.
And so for trans men and mastectomy as well for trans men, or
Yeah, and
for trans women and trans men as well.
Different price. This is the case. This price is case for sex reassignment for trans women.
Okay.
But for trans men, I think maybe Jimmy can provide
Yes.
more in detail.
And you all used this service before.
Yeah.
Okay. You too?
Yes, for trans men, it's like the cost in US and like 30,000 and more.
Dollars?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it's going up every year.
Okay.
So many trans men have to
And it's going up in every quarter.
So it became a business, right?
yes.
Yes, we have business now.
I mean,
Yeah. So what we can do?
Yeah.
And we still have a very big problem to access to public hospital. It's not just only about to access for the service on transitioning program, but it is about how the way they treat us when we have to show up our identification card.
because you don't have a gender identity law, right?
Yes.
So you cannot change your names
Yes.
in the paper.
Yes.
So you have your ID as whatever that does
Yeah.
not identify
Yes.
what you are, who you are.
Yeah.
And how is the treatment? I mean, here I'm sure they're all prepared, so yeah. But in the public hospital, will they call you by the legal name, or how
They
is
call
it?
us by the legal name.
And how is it?
Seems that they're fun to call us like that.
Yeah.
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 but it's not funny.
Yeah.
It's not funny
not
for
funny
us.
at all.
Yeah.
Not funny for us, but yeah, it's sometimes they like. I want to meet patient, not relative or cousin. I said I am.
Oh my god.
Like something like that. Something like that. Something wrong with your throat, and they try to tease us. I know you want to be a woman, nah? So you try to make the voice like it will be perfect, something like that. It's always.
I have many questions because I'm very interested about how you perceive now your privileges as a man. You know, how is to be different, because we know that society is per se very sexist, right? And then men, they have their privilege. Before, people would see you as a woman, and now they see you a man. Do you feel that society changed how they relate to you, and for you as well? How is to choose to be, you know? Now people see you as a woman if they treat you different before.
I mean, if like I said before, that I'm coming out to the media, so many people know who I am when I was born. But for some people who don't know who I am,
Yes.
they treat me like a normal guy, just like better than when I was in the woman
Body.
body. They treat me like a freak always. So maybe I think that the normal life is better than when I go to the public sector. I cannot, when I go traveling to, like, I just went back to Japan, I have to carry the letter from the doctor which say that I am the gender identity disorder to prove to the I'm the custom immigration. Yeah, to tell that even my ID card or my passport say that I'm a miss, it just doesn't match what my body right now. But here is a doctor letter, so
The doctor will say, please let this other person pass the immigration to travel to see your country. The first time I went to Hong Kong, I remember I was invited to speak at the sexual diversity class in University of Hong Kong. Even I received such a very strong invitation letter, but my passport doesn't match with my gender expression, so that's a problem. They didn't do anything with me. I tried to, hey, I have a letter. They said no, just follow me, and they dropped my passport into the box, and they did something else about 30 minutes. That was like a year for me. Time passing in every second. I feel like what's going on with me? What's going on with me? Even the letter they rejected to read it, and they said that we have to really apologize for this inconvenience, because in your country that as I know that your legal document is not really related to your gender identity. Now that's a big problem, and I hope you understand us why we approach you this way.
yeah, we have to be positive.
Yes.
Because the social construction already, hurt us. So we have to be positive to ourselves.
Lack of education about sexual diversity, I think this is the main problems here. They live with us with the tolerance to live with trans people or other LGBTI, for example. But they didn't know how to approach or never realized about sensitivity, gender sensitivity. Never been taught in the family, never been taught in the school. It might been taught in some conference. It might been taught for some gender study class. But it never been taught in general. Just I wanna drop this.
Go back to the training.
You can see as I am as a man.
Yes.
But people always say that no, you're born a girl. Your ID card is still missed. So no matter what you do to yourself, you're still a woman. That's what they always say to me.
Who?
Everybody. Yes, I always felt as a man, but they always say that because you don't have a penis, so
Yeah.
you are a girl, you cannot be a man, and you
Yes.
have to act like a girl. You have to like behave like a girl. They sent me to, a ballet class.
Yeah.
Something like that, and I said no, I don't want the ballet class. I want to go to going to the guitar or drums, something, and they say no, and they sent me to the girl boarding school.
Okay.
Yeah,
And until which age?
until I finished my high school.
Wow. But when did you start feeling? We know that you were born, right, in
Yeah.
this way, and I don't even like the biological concept, right? I like to see sex as a social construction,
Yeah.
right? Not that because you are born this way, right?
Like
They
by-
assign us
Yes.
as that, right? It's a legal need for
It's
them.
constructed by like experience, time, social institution, work together to construct a concept of a gender role that related on what is between your legs.
Yes.
Something like
And I
that.
want to talk about genitalia, yes.
Yes.
Because it seems that everything's about genitalia, right?
Everything is
And
It's like a source of power on earth, something like that. That especially in Thai context, I think they do like that. They may accept us.
not only Thai, huh?
Oh yeah,
Believe
right.
me. Oh no, but keep going.
Um, like for example, to born in Thai, especially Thai, almost people are Buddhist, right? They believe that the way we born, especially the sex as birth as sign, is because of the karma.
The karma.
The karma, yeah. The previous life. So you born male, it means you did something very good instead of other genders, So born male is the best. So born female lower did something not good enough to born as a man.
So being transgender is just like
Oh, I have some-
Worse, yes.
Yeah, it's
You
worse.
did something really bad.
I have some-
yeah.
So you came out as a trans man.
Yes.
How was it?
It was like, I don't know, life changing overnight. Yeah, every spotlight just, is on me, and I have to, how can I say, I have to deal with the media, the discrimination from the social. For many people, I don't even know them. It just have a good side and a bad side. I just decided that, like 5 years ago I waiting for someone who is a trans man who came out to the media before, or who being the tell the people they're like a role model,
Yes. So
but nobody do it. So I think about that, then I have to do it myself, because then
wow.
there's still transgender youth behind us. So if I don't do anything, who else will do it? So I have to speak that day. And
I met Timmy like 6 years ago.
Okay.
When he was he first became a member at my transgender online community. But now he has to be a leader for such a big community, like 1,000 members, waiting for the way that he work for trans men rights now.
But I would like to ask you first, why do you think it's still very invisible?
like we can blend into the society.
Yes, that's it.
And if you see us walking by the street, and you cannot tell that who is a trans man or who is not. We just like normal guy. So that's why the trans men is just like, so they think their life is better. They don't have to do anything for their own rights.
It's easier.
It's easier, right? So somehow they don't want to go to the media or coming out or say something about this issue. I concern about the healthcare because a trans man health is just like same as a woman health, because that as long as you have the
very
ovary, like female
Menstruation.
reproductive in the body, then you have to go to like pap smear, you have to cancer screening, and usually no doctor in Thailand have knowledge about this.
Yeah, of course.
training, yeah.
But the doctor don't know how to treat us. Yeah, like that.
Like they believe that like a normal guy.
Yes.
Okay? So then they try harder to do anything to make sure that the transitioning will be finished very quick. So they use personal testosterone injection, and that's very high risk for for their health.
I know a few trans men that they just can't cope with hormones, and they choose not to use hormones because they think about the health, but they also find very hard because of discrimination, because then they cannot pass as a normal man, right? But at the same time, many of trans men are really using, as you said, hormones and treatment in a way that is quite dangerous. So how do you feel yourself in a critical way about the use of hormones and technology? And if you feel detached to this culture of I have to look like a male and a macho man, you know?
Yeah, it's a big issue. Well, I think that they all concerned about their health, but they still using hormone themselves. Well, it's because of the heteronormative.
Yes.
That's the big problem, because that like Nada said before, in Thai society, being a man is better than woman. Somehow some people don't want to use their hormone, but they have to make
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
It's just like they need it because that they just want to leave the female body. And some people, like, I asked them, don't you afraid that you inject by yourself? They said no. Better die because of the hormone is better than die like
In a female body.
yeah. So they can handle that risk.
It's a need, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, but it's a need that is linked with the culture of what a man is.
But what Jimmy have been doing is very interesting, because before when he started his own organizations, the way I saw it is like he believed that this is a trans man, this is only the pathway. But when he learned more and more, he see that there is a diversity of being me.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
Right? So what he's now doing is very interesting. He's starting to perform or conduct like a group chat, or even join the conference and bring this topic to talk about the diversity of being a trans man.
So talk about this, please. Coming from you.
Just like a diversity, like me myself, I used to think that being a man is just like the one way, like when society tell us that
No.
society told us that if you are a man, you have to be strong, you have to be, have a beard, have a penis, whatever you think about in the male,
Agree.
yeah. And then I try to raise the awareness to the trans men community in Thailand, because that even in trans men we still struggle with the idea that being a man you have to date a woman, being a man you have to be strong, being a man you have to like being a man. And I try to tell them that no, if you even you are a man or a woman, you don't have to be like dating opposite sex. And even you are trans man, you don't have to be with women, just only women. You can be with a guy, you can be with everybody you want to be with. And they're just like, is that right?
Because how do you identify yourself?
Now?
Yes.
For now, I'm 100% heterosexual.
Okay.
But in the future, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have a girlfriend?
Yes. So sometimes my girlfriend even get the question that, so how was your sex with him, with me?
Yeah.
And my girlfriend just answered that. So what about you? Maybe you should tell your sex relation with your boyfriend, and then you ask me.
Yeah.
It's just like we are normal. We have sex in the same way that other people have.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's inappropriate the question for people who don't know. You know, it's not normal people. It's not normal question that people ask every day.
Yeah, like how's your sex life?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Mostly I just like sometimes I don't answer them, and sometimes I just like, so are we close enough to ask me like that? Because that sometimes I have in the media when I go to the many talk show, they ask me like, and I was like, hey, 6 million people are watching now. Why I have to talking about my sex life? Yeah, it's not a joke.
Yeah. Once we joined with like others communities, this is the first thing that they want to know. The same thing with Jimmy just explained it about, like how you make love. The way
you
you
have
make love.
orgasm.
Yeah, did you get orgasm? How it feel? Nothing else. But being trans, maybe something like for who undergone a sex resonance, how it look like. Is it organized? It can reach orgasm. It is self lubricated, or how your guys mention about it, or maybe the worst case is, can I see it? I call it like it's a gender-based violence, but it didn't come from by physical attack, but it's from like social structure, like it's expressed by the verbal or the opinion that people think about being like us.
Let's talk about intersex then.
Yeah, and
We are talking already.
yeah, and first they know I'm transgender, but behind that I was born with intersex condition. But my parents raised me up as a boy, so I held my ID card as Mr. I had something that people call penis when I was young, but it's not just like the penis that people think it must look like. So that's the question I have been facing, questioning when I was very young, is about what it look like. What it look like. Talk with me, look at their eyes, but I can see that they scan not my face, but they scan down to my and I feel like very bad. I remember when it was like high school, maybe someone I can trust, so I told a story about my being intersex with them. I thought that he's my friend, he's really fine. The next day, oh, did you heard about this? So I feel like, so I kept it with myself. I was struggling with my family at first because it's not okay for the family. So that's the point. And my father was really like upset because he believed that like being you. He always keeps saying that when I was young. Now it's better. He's loved me so much, but when I was young, you have a big penis. Big penis, do you know? like I said, how you like classify is big or small, I have no idea, but he tried to use this way to change the way I believe, or try to change me to be like a normal guy, as he thought. I remember this scene is still imprinted in my memory, that he had his friend design the jewelry, and it's the art like like a handicraft. He made like a King Kong, like a necklace.
Yes.
Yeah, with the very big penis. And he said, this rule the world. I feel really against. That's why I really hate. I feel very bad in myself. And I started to even, what I can say, see, talking about something deep is my struggling. Okay, I starting to hate myself. I starting to hate other transgender, and I don't want to just stay close to them. When I saw transgender walk around me, I try to just, because I do worry that someone will recognize that I'm trans, and the bad experience that I have been facing in my families will like happen to me. So that's why, and this quite like work deep down in my mind. It's caused me sick. I can't believe it's caused me I have serious allergies, disease, and like my immune like destroy my body itself. It's happened by rash, and it's happened with my hands over 10 years. Under treatment for like medical treatment for 10 years, it doesn't help. It's caused more other sickness. So I stopped, and then one day I don't know what to do. I returned home already, and then I applied for alternative medical treatment. It's called homeopathy. Someone thought it's fake, but it's really worked with for me. Okay, sometimes placebo effect is really work. Yeah. So homeopathist like asked my permission to go deep down to the when I was really young, and I find out that the rash caused by fear, phobia. That's because when I can unlock the way I phobia myself, the rash gone. And I phobia because of being Nada. So being Nada is because she was born as intersex. She was born as transgender. You know, like when I came out in the transgender community that I was born as intersex, I was rejected also, because like you already nearly reached to the like female femininity of like, you know, like what society believe that what female should be, but we are not something like that. I always get complained about my femininity look. So once I came out as transgender, I have to learn how to be Thai trans. Yeah, I was rejected from the family members for 7 years. Yes, my parents decided to just left me alone, and they moved to live in Chiang Rai. Yes, because they said that we don't want to hurt each other. Once I want to be in myself, it hurt them, and once they push me, it hurt me. So they thought that better to like separate. 7 years with lots of trauma. Someone like your parents supposed to be the first person you can call, right? When you got some problems, but they avoid to answer your call, or when they answer, they worry that you're gonna make some problem for them or something. 7 years hard time for me too. Struggling here in Bangkok alone. I have no job because no one wants to hire me to work. I don't know why. I cannot go to school. I cannot finish my university because I cannot dare to wear a male uniform too. And I don't want. Lecturer like shout it out loud. What's wrong with your ID card? Why you didn't wear a female skirt? And everyone look at me like a fake person. And I can't deny that I'm trans. I trans my body. I trans my gender identity to be a woman. So why I cannot be trans woman? Also, I thought everyone can be trans. Gay can be trans. Everyone can be trans in terms of understanding what trans people life should be. And I saw the feedback is like when you bring the topic about intersex into the media, it's more accepted because it's natural born, something like that. Okay? So intersex has rights to choose to be who they are, for example. But in reality, it's not true because, intersex is not about the people who born with penis and it doesn't mean like you born with like penis and vagina. It's more complicated. Intersex could caused by other sexual characteristics, right? Maybe chromosome, maybe hormones, right? So the gender recognition law or the gender recognition policy is not only about for transgender only, but for other intersex that face the same things. Because even like the law believe in functional genitalia.
When you were born, the doctor already.
Yeah.
How was it? They talked to the parents. Your parents were aware there was something that they were not expecting or whatever.
I have no idea.
Because usually, from my experience, intersex issues they happen in a very private sphere, so we never know. People don't talk, and there is this stigma, right, about the shame of the family, and people don't feel free to come out as intersex. And so I wonder how it was for you. Like if the doctor proposed, you should raise your kid as a man.
The doctor proposed because he saw my
based on the genitalia.
Yeah, he saw my little penis and he said, "This is a man. This is a boy."
But your parents never considered to.
They was considered. That's why they worry a lot that I will grow up.
No, but considered to raise you in a neutral way.
No, because they believe like being a man is the best. Mom said that even doing as fast, I wouldn't raise you like this. Yeah, but she just said sorry, and I can't. When she started talking these issues, like they feel very bad and cry. I can't let my mom cry. So it's okay. And in the other hand, I appreciate that and thanks a lot because I will never ever being me. It's supposed to be. I think like God already wanted me to born this way, to be in Nada, to face lots of serious factors in life, and I think we are extraordinary people. We born for some reasons. We have challenging too, and we have to finish it.
Maybe we could go to the other room.
Anything.
Can you
sit over there. Clap. Let's go back to the conversation.
Well, when I was born, I always know that I'm a man, and the story is just as same as Nada. Yeah, when I finished my high school, my parents they cannot accept me as I am. Even when I'm not going through the transition yet, they say that they're not okay if I have a girlfriend because they want me to, as same as another woman to be with a guy, to get married, to have a baby. I don't know. I have to say that I just being myself, and that's it. And people just asking, "Are you a lesbian?" When I say that I like a girl, and I say no, I'm not a lesbian, and they ask me, "And are you a tomboy?" And I said no, I'm not. And then what are you? And I was like, if I told you that I'm a man, then you will call me a freak. When I walk out from my house, I don't even have any money, and I still in college, which I cannot afford it because that I don't have any money, I don't have a job, I don't have anything, and my last term in my university is just like I cannot finish it because of the dress. They want me to wear a skirt to get the examination, and I said no, I want to wear the trouser. And they was like, no, you cannot do that. If you don't wear a skirt, then go out of the examination room. So that's why I cannot finish my college. I cannot finish my degree, and now I'm still trying to finish it. At my 32, well, finally they allow us to wearing the whatever we want, but we have to get the letter every semester.
From the doctor?
No, from the
Student department.
yeah.
And then they can tell you if you were okay or if you're not okay to wear.
They think they must okay now. They can't because they allow at the first time, but they try to play game. I think.
Do you think about politics?
Sure.
I mean, becoming
Behind me is my passion. Yeah, I see myself in the parliament. Sorry to say that, but
why? Sorry.
I study law because of this reason.
At my political science
because of this reason also.
And do you like law?
Oh my god, I just knew that I love it so much.
Yeah.
I still face something I call invisible discrimination. Yeah, I know they started to do something. I always get A and B plus. I never get C before, and I got C. I got 2C. I even tutor my friends who always get D and C. They get B plus. It's impossible for me to get C at all. I even was banned by the classmate one semester. We fight in the last class of criminal law. We discussed about sexual crime and the social movement that now about the rape law.
Rape. Yeah.
Law. Yes.
It applies for a man, a woman.
Yeah, but now it's called protection. The protections cover it for all gender, and became a very big fighting. And I walked out. This is academic exchange. No, I said no. This is not academic debates at all. I have no space to breathe in this room, and I have to walk out. Sorry. And after that, the head of the class called me and said that what you did is kind of destroy our reputation in the classrooms, something like that. So they banned me for 1 semester. No talk. Yeah.
Just switching a bit about faith. Are you connected somehow with faith? We talked a bit about like the Buddhism, about
Do you have religion?
yeah. Or
Maybe
are you
religion.
connected to faith in general? I don't really like particularly the religion, but maybe.
I am Muslim, so but I believe in every goodness of any aspect of the religious.
Yeah.
That's for me, and I'm strong. I will be Muslim until I die. I believe in that way, and because of the religions, intersexual sexuality is already mentioned in the Quran.
Intersex persons.
Yes, but intersex, nah, only.
Sorry?
It is intersex only.
Okay.
Not gay or not trans. But I think trans is still like in terms of they still keep fighting about the description about what the two in one means. But in Quran mentioned about like it's the power of God for the person who born with two in one. Yeah, they said if I want you to have like son, you have son. If I want you to have daughter, you have daughter. But if I want you to have both in one.
How does religion play a role in your life then?
Oh
Because
my God! It's for me. This is truly personal.
Muslim.
I know. The best way to heal. It's the best way to healing me, and I think because of the religions, that's why it's prevent me to turn to be madness person. I think I would gone crazy without the religion. I could die. I could turn crazy. Because I don't know. I'm not fit into this world, something like that.
yes.
But at least the religion gave me some space for that.
One assumption that people usually have about Buddhism is that Buddhism is very tolerant religion. What do you think? I mean, in terms of LGBTI, if this karma, and because in a way it's kind of a punishment, right?
It's social sanction, I think. It's kind of social sanctioned. Because they try to find out why you born on this earth. You're not a man nor a woman, something like that. So the best way to describe about being trans is about, you did something bad in the past. But in terms of this concept, I said you born because you did something bad also.
Yeah, that's a question that Marcel has been asking. Why here we see more like expression, or if the numbers are higher, or do you have any answer? I mean,
I think because of the tolerance.
yeah,
Yes, that's why we can't express ourselves.
you can.
That's why we can express
Yeah, yeah.
ourselves. That's why there are a lot. But I believe in your countries, there are a lot also, right?
But don't they have the discourse of human rights being a Western concept?
Of course, we adopted from the Western concept also. But like we can say that Thailand culture always open for any intersection, like export culture, something like that. But it should be transitioned to be Thai style.
Jimmy was telling in the intermission about the influence. Well,
Yeah,
what she
but
means
didn't
for
see
you. I would like to
Ah,
hear
yeah,
it
personal.
Yeah.
The mentor.
Yeah,
Of course, I love him as my real brother. I can say that. I don't have brother, younger brother. I have all the brothers who never understood me, left me behind. Yeah, and then I saw what he tried to do for his community, and I thought that how I could just
let me alone.
So, and once I study law and I plan to do to go abroad to fulfill my dream also, I said that, hey, I have 1 year for you. Took anything that I have, I give it to him. Yeah. Community establishment, connection, grant making, fundraising, proposal development, anything I could. Yeah.
Yeah, because in the trans men organization, we never worked in the NGO field before, so we know nothing about it. And as I say, that she is also just like my mentor.
I think this is the most beautiful moment for me is about to. I used to thought that what I've been doing is for nothing, just for nothing. Like, no, trans women is better now. They don't need me. Blah, blah, blah. And until like, yes, yeah, I was wrong. There are a lot. I think, and there's still a lot. Yeah, in the rural area. We're starting to talk about what about trans in rural area that we never think about. Yeah, maybe it's time to so much work. Yeah. But I think now I fulfill my dream, gain the knowledge, come back home, fight again.
Yeah, we need to fight.
Lots of things to do. See?
Therefore,
Yeah, the new chapter is coming.
Right.